Grab me by the pant legs, rip off my slacks, slap me on the ass tonight. Anyways, yeah, I'm like really tired, so I hope this is gonna be a short one because I am like really super fucking tired. Anyways, well, last night was daylight savings, and it threw me for a fucking loop. It's the weirdest thing, man. I don't know if it's just here or what, but the minute daylight savings hits, it's like the sun just fuck you and goes away. Like, you don't see the sun. Like right now, it is dark, it's overcast, it's dreary, and it's like that. And then the minute it ends and we skip ahead an hour, it's like that next day the sun comes out and it's all bright and shiny. Like, you ain't gonna see the sun for like what, 6 months? Fucked up. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. So I'm like really tired. What did I want to talk about? Freaking Trump, dude. Typical, I know, but he's going around right now and he's making these different countries buy weapons from us, which on some level it seems like a good idea, but it's not. It's not a good idea. It isn't, because what's going to happen is if they don't buy, they're going to be at a disadvantage because others will. So basically every major nation has an enemy. And if their enemy buys weapons from us, and like I said, they don't, it's all part of the New World Order bullshit. And you're drawing them all in, saying, because once they start buying from us, well, let's say reverse engineer it, we're basically going to own them, essentially. And that's not really a good thing. I mean, on some level, perhaps, but if you're talking biblically, you're talking like end of days, New World Order bullshit, that's not good. That's not good at all. Because I know a lot of people who aren't religious be like, oh, that's great, we own them, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, if it were just that simple, maybe. But again, who can wage war against the beast? Think about it. We have over 800 bases worldwide. No other time in history has anybody had that type of military force ever. Because we literally have it around the world. We have basically encompassed the entire planet with our bases. Now, some of them, they're not powerhouse bases or anything, like we're, but we are spread out so far. We have bases of operations all over the world. We spend trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars more than the top 5 countries combined. Okay? And now we're basically going to strong arm these other nations, like Japan, who for the most part doesn't hate us, although they probably should after, but although they sort of brought that on themselves, but still, I don't know to that extent, but whatever, they had to get smacked down a little bit, but they don't hate us for that, considering the circumstances, they don't hate us. And now we're going to be basically strong-arming them. Now think about it. We're bringing in money from what they're going to buy. Guess where that's going to go? Back into the military. You think it's going to go into, social programs? No. That's going right back into the military. They're cutting social programs to go into the military. So not only are we spending trillions and 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 trillions of dollars on the war machine, but we're also going to be cutting social programs, safety net programs, to then also go into the millions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of fucking dollars to the war machine. So this war machine is going to be huge. huge. Okay, it's going to be gigantic. There's going to be money coming in every which way. And for what? For what? Now, if Donald Trump's this great, negotiator, he should not be in wars. There may be a few he has to go into, okay. But if he's this great negotiator and this great businessman, he should be able to do it without going into war. But you see what he wants to do. He wants to go to war. That's all he wants to do. And Republicans want to go to war? Hell yeah. They all want to go into wars. Why? Because they make fucking money off of it. And then the worst part... no, fuck it. The whole thing is the worst part. There's no worst part. Oh God, it's like, think about what is happening here. We are setting up the pieces on the global chessboard so that these bigger countries who are buying weapons from us, they're going to rely on us. So not only are they giving us money to go into the war fund, but we're also supplying them with weapons to engage war with us. It is literally going to be a world war. A world army, essentially. We are setting up a one world army. We are. And anybody who doesn't follow suit, they're going to get annihilated. Think about it. So, dude, if I was North Korea, I would be worried. I would be. I'd be extremely worried. And even if they thought they could hit us first, you're talking one bomb, dude. Now, they have to do some pretty good damage, but even if it did, we would wipe them off the face of the planet. We would, under the circumstances now. That's some scary shit. They would literally hit us first. God knows where. God knows how. We're talking like actual, 50 states here. I'm not talking like on a boat somewhere or some little embassy somewhere. Assuming they could get it across the pond. And I don't think they're that far off. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're pretty close to hitting Hawaii. Now, that's a little different because it's not technically mainland. Not that I would, say, well, it's not that bad. It's only Hawaii. No, I don't mean it like that, but as opposed to over the Central America, the central part of America, not Central America, but central middle part of, the United States, that'd be a pretty serious fucking bomb going off. And speaking of bombs going off, this 5G shit, oh my God, dude, the idea they're going to set up this fucking network of bullshit where everything is connected in the cloud. And you know what? You know what's funny about that? Donald Trump is all hot to trot. Oh, we got to make America first. America's got to be first. America's got to be first. Well, you know what the Bible says? The first shall be last and the last shall be first. You know what happens when everything goes on the grid in an EMP field? Like, I don't know, North Korea maybe, I don't know. Or China, or hell, even Russia. People who have the capability to do that shit. They could very easily explode one right over our country, right over the middle of our country. Those who have the capability to do it. And guess what? You're talking EMP field. Oh, fuck that. Even the sun, the solar flare could cause an EMP field. You know what happens to the EMP field? Every single solitary thing that is connected to that web is gone. We will literally be kicked to the Stone Age for a couple weeks. A couple of weeks at least, bare minimum. And that's just to get the base infrastructure going. That's not even getting power and shit to everybody else. I mean, you are literally talking about potentially, like, your light bulb is gone. Like, your light bulb would blow, potentially, if it was strong enough. Or could. Now, I don't know about those curly ones. I don't know about those. I don't know how that works, but I mean, it's connected. I mean, I don't know. You put enough... I don't know, man. If you put enough charging in that shit, well, that's slightly different, but it could definitely blow that shit. I've seen those things blow before. They turn black, and it's this weird smell. Now think about this. Donald Trump wants to do these infrastructure jobs, like creating roads and highways and, buildings and shit like that, which is all great. It creates jobs. It's wonderful. But underneath that underlining factor, he wants to set up this 5G bullshit. He wants to put it in schools, universities, hospitals. Now think about that shit. Think about that. And if we had an EMP field go off over the middle of our country, or like I said, the sun or something, we would be completely fucked. We would be completely fucked. Do you understand that? Because the idea is that as America goes, so goes the rest of the world. So if we're going to be first to get this 5G shit up and running, like they've got these things in New York City right now, if you don't seen these, but they're putting up these boxes in New York City. And people think that nobody knows what it is. Nobody's being told what it is. But they think it's like some sort of monitoring device, like some cameras and shit, because they're on the streets and stuff. That shit's weird. It's probably connected with this 5G shit. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, do you realize that with the 5G network, with what they're claiming it can do, they can track you in real fucking time. They can literally track you just to track random people. They don't need warrants. They don't need any of that stuff. Of course, with the Patriot Act, you don't need that anyway. But, I mean, honestly, they could track your car. They could track your... I mean, shit, some of the cards that you have, like your debit card or your credit card, that shit has, like, those strips in the thing. Your paper money's got the strips in it. They could track that shit. They can know right where the fuck you are at all times. And again, who's watching this? And who's keeping the data? And what do they do with that data? Does it go in a, collection somewhere? On the off chance you might do something bad? You might, go ham and kill a bunch of people? But yet we can't ban the fucking gun, but yet... See, that's the problem, and especially if you're conservative Christian. Well, we've seen conservatives and we've seen Christians both bend the fuck over for all this bullshit. 9/11 was a good example. 9/11 is a great example of people bending over for freedom. They say, I'd rather be safe than free. Patriot Act was a great example of that. There's no outrage over that. Sean Hannity had no outrage. Fox News had no outrage. They want small fucking government, unless the government's keeping them safe. Then they want it as big as humanly possible. That's your fucking antichrist. That's your end times. That's your new world order, you fucking morons. It's going to be these idiots who call themselves Christians who have been propagating all this bullshit about the end times and about the antichrist and about revelations and all this fucking shit. And they're the ones who are going to usher it in. And they're going to be doing it on their fucking knees praying to God that it happens. Because they're so goddamn stupid. And that's a fact. That's a fucking fact. They ain't gonna be the libtards. Those damn libtards trying to destroy America. It's not the libtards. It's not the liberals. The liberals aren't the ones who are doing it. You think the liberals want to track where you're going? No. You think the liberals want photo ID when you go to vote? No. You think the liberals want this shit? No. Who wants it? Your Christian conservatives. Or your conservative/Christians, however you want to define it. Welfare fraud, all this bullshit. Where do you think that comes from? Well, it's just for them because they're lazy and they don't work and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and you know what? What happens when that shit's implemented to you when the New World Order comes in and says, do you pledge allegiance to the flag, motherfucker? Do you pledge allegiance to this flag? Do you pledge allegiance to this world? Okay, that is not far-fetched. All these people want to, I see different people on Facebook, and they're like, should we keep under God in the pledge? No, motherfucker, we shouldn't, because it's wicked. Okay, I'm not going to pledge allegiance to a worldly fucking empire that's going to die. I'd rather pledge allegiance to Jesus. I'd rather pledge allegiance to his kingdom. I'm not going to pledge allegiance to some fucking bullshit country that's done horrible, wicked things to people. No, I'd rather be, for right now, on the winning side, yes. But that's all it is. I'm sorry, that's all it is. We know that at the end of days, this country and all the other countries are going to go against Israel, and God is going to smite them. He's going to fuck them over. That means this country. Oh no, it doesn't mean that. It means Donald Trump is going to try to give us a revival and make us rich, and it's the damn liberals who are going to destroy America, and America's not in the Bible, so the liberals destroyed America. That's why the Antichrist is able to do what he does. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Anybody who says that's a fucking moron, who doesn't even understand the bullshit that they're preaching. I say bullshit because they're turning it into bullshit. And it irritates me. I'm sorry. Another thing, churches should not be promoting anybody from the pulpit. If you're tax exempt, you should not be at all promoting anybody from the pulpit. First off, it's not for you to say who's who. And again, what happens if you're deceived? What happens if you're being deceived? What happens if it's part of the great delusion that you think the fucking Republicans are going to save everybody? You think, dude, give me a break. The idea people like Pastor Moore and everybody from our fucking church would preach that bullshit. And I've said this numerous times, do those fucking people really think Paul Ryan gives a damn about the morality of abortion? No, he simply doesn't want to pay for it, and his rich overlord masters don't want to have to pay for it. That's the only reason he's anywhere near the abortion issue. That's it. It has nothing to do with morality. Now you got your dumbass Christian, you're like, I'm a Christian conservative because they stand against abortion. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to have some in leadership who's like, yes, I don't like abortion. I don't like what it stands for. I don't like the fact that they cut the babies up and blah, 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 blah. Okay, listen, I get all that. But the party collectively does not give a damn about what they do. It only cares about what they have to pay for, and that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. And yet, we're backing them because they're doing the right thing. No, they're not. Because doing the right thing for the wrong reason is not good. It's not of God. That's not good fruit from a good tree. That's bullshit from a bullshit tree who's trying to bullshit you, and you're fucking stupid enough to just shovel that shit right down your fucking gullet because you're a moron. Okay? I mean, seriously, we have this idea that we're talking about the church who peddles morality. Self-righteous morality, saying that the GOP are the way to go because they're doing it right. Are you fucking kidding me? Or some people, well, they're not perfect, but no, give me a break. You're gonna look God in the eye one of these days, assuming God is real. Okay, assuming He's real. And you're going to stand before Him and say, well, I took the lesser of two evils, Lord. Are you really fucking stupid? Are you really that brain dead? Oh, I did it for you, Lord. I took the lesser of two evils. No. God is going to look at you like you're a fucking moron. God doesn't deal in lesser of two evils. He says, you either worship me or you go fuck yourself and die. Is what He says, literally. You worship me or you go to hell. There's no, well, I worship you on Sunday. That's got to be good enough, right? No. There's no halfway with God. There's no halfway. When has there ever been a halfway? Yet, Christian conservatives from the pulpit, people we went to church with, preach halfway all the time. God looks down and smiles because you're doing it halfway. Halfway is half-assed, motherfucker. Figure it out. You say, well, one is better than the other. Is it really? Is it? Are the liberals really as bad as you want to make them out to be? Because guess what? You're a Christian conservative. What the fuck are you conserving? We were told this is a fallen, dead world run by Satan. Everything in it is of the devil. Dude, we couldn't even have dances at the school because it was evil. We couldn't watch TV because it was evil. We couldn't listen to Christian rock music because it was evil. Okay? Everything's fucking evil. The fact I got out of bed this morning is evil. Yet, all of a sudden, the Republican Party is God's savior to the universe. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me with that shit? Oh, the liberals are trying to destroy America. So what if they are? So what? What the fuck do you care? Here's a newsflash. In 500 billion fucking years, the sun is going to expand because it's going to die and it's going to engulf the fucking entire planet. We're all going to die. So guess what? America's going to die. America's going to die. America's not going to survive. It's not. Even at like the base minimum, we're not going to survive. Okay. Now, granted, that may be 500 billion years from now. But guess what? Or a trillion years, whatever the fuck it is. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It's gonna die. It's gonna die. It's gonna die. The country's gonna fucking die. This country is dead. This country is... You're backing a wrong fucking horse. Okay? You're backing the wrong horse, Johnny. Okay? Bullshit. And then, again, that, like I said, that's just base minimum. Forget we blew each other up. Forget God came. Forget any of that shit. Forget the aliens came. Whatever potential... This country is not going to stand. This country is not going to survive. When Christ comes back with his kingdom, it isn't going to be, well, we're in America over here and God's over there in his country. No, it doesn't work that way, motherfucker. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Jesus comes, you're part of the Jesus country. You ain't part of this country. Fuck this country. This country is nothing. This country is run by Satan. It is run by Satan. I don't want to get into the whole thing of why... I mean, shit, the country was founded on slavery. We raped and murdered the fucking Indians. We stole their fucking land. Okay, we were horrible fucking people. We were straight up horrible fucking people every chance we could get. Okay. And that's just how it is. That's a fact. That's not me trying to be anti-American. That's not me, well, if you don't like it, get out of the country, leave the country. That's me just facing reality, folks. You need to do it too. All these people who think the country's the greatest thing since sliced bread need to look back at history and realize not so much. Okay? Okay. We done fucked up. We fucked it up a couple times. Okay? More than once. So, this is a fallen world, this is a fallen nation, and these are fallen political parties. And why our church, who preached against that shit, you know, the angel of light, all that shit, he prowls around seeking whom he may devour like a lion, okay? All that shit, they wanted to preach it, they wanted to teach it, and then they fucking don't live it. They don't even grasp it. And I don't understand how, especially some of these people, I've studied the Bible for 40 years. Well, then why the fuck are you saying the stupid shit that you're saying? If you know it for 40 fucking years, you should understand. You should be able to at least see it when it hits you in the face. Like, I know what a dick looks like, but when it's slapping me in the face, I'm like, oh, great, I praise Jesus. I ain't praising Jesus when a dick is slapping me in the face. I've seen what dick looked like for 40 years. Although, sadly, not mine, because I haven't seen mine since I was 5, but that's neither here nor there. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's like you preach something wholeheartedly, and then when it hits you right at home, you don't even see it. You don't even grasp it. You're like, and you don't even get it as you bang your fucking head against the pulpit. You're like, don't bang your head against the pulpit. Now, why is it that I see it this way, but they don't? I don't understand that. They told us, I know what they told us, damn it. They told us this shit. They told us that it's a fallen, evil, wicked world, and we're not of this world. That our home is in heaven. That kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, well, his kingdom is not here. This is not, America is not his kingdom. Okay, well, it's the next best thing until his kingdom comes. Okay, you want to make that argument? Fine. But if we're the next best thing since the kingdom come, isn't it infinitely more likely that we are probably the antichrist variant of his kingdom? We are like the opposite of his kingdom? I mean, you really think Jesus is going to come back and start handing out Smith & Wesson? Really? You think he's going to start handing out weapons? Like, here, everybody gets an MK-16 and everybody gets, whatever. I mean, come on. Really? What if we are the anti-version of Christ's kingdom? Because guess what? We're told that Lucifer is an angel of light. He pretends to be something he's not. What if we are pretending this country is a Christian nation and it's not? What happens then? And even for a second, even if I'm even right for half a millisecond, that means we're fucked. That means we really need to think about it. We really need to take that under advisement, jerkweed. Okay? Yes, I just quoted Die Hard. Whatever. Or sort of quoted it. Whatever. But what happens? What happens if I'm even remotely close to right on any of this stuff? That means we're completely naive. This is the great illusion. Patriotism. What if patriotism is the great delusion? I mean, think about it. Well, you have born-again Christians who are so worried about keeping the term under God in the pledge of allegiance to an earthly kingdom, because it somehow makes them feel that this earthly kingdom is something more than that. An earthly kingdom run by earthly gods. Think about that. Now, I'm not saying God can't use America and that God hasn't used America. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying God doesn't have a plan for America. I'm not saying all that stuff is all true. God has a plan for the Antichrist too. That doesn't mean it's going to be good times. Rainbows and sodomy and unicorns. It don't mean it's all good. You gotta take the good with the bad. This is the facts of life, motherfucker. You got Blair and Tootie over there acting stupid. Well, Mrs. Garrett's out fucking around. I mean, it is what it is. It's just, I don't understand it. I am literally seeing the pieces fall into place, and I am seeing the Republican Party and my fellow Christians, the ones who are promoting it. Again, you want to worry about welfare fraud because somebody might take $316 and go buy pot with it. How much fucking pot you think you're going to get for $316 a month? Now, first off, if you knew anything about welfare, you'd understand that, guess what? The people who are on welfare, for the most part, 99% of the fucking people are on it because they have to be. Not because they want to be, because they have to be. Because guess what? To get welfare, you don't just hand it out. Obama's not just handing that shit out. Even now, he's not doing it. Okay? You have to prove that you need it. They have caseworkers come to your house to prove that you are living in the house and not under a bridge somewhere. Think about it. Oh, I need, $316 a month to help pay for my, expenses, and I'm living under a fucking bridge and I'm just pocketing the money. No, they actually have people come out to your abode to make sure it's actually a livable space. Do you understand that? They're not just giving that shit out. And then all that shit they did in 96, which, whatever. Like somebody like me, if I had to go on welfare, it would be extremely difficult because I'd have to go fuck around with the doctor to say you can't work because they did all that shit. We gotta, they basically have the work requirement, and everybody thought that was great. But what it does, it hurts somebody like me who, again, if I had to go on it, and thank the Christ I don't have to, but if I did, every 6 months I'd have to go see the doctor and have them fill out a form. And those doctors don't like filling out those forms at all. They don't want to fill out those fucking forms. In fact, the doctor doesn't even fill out the form. I know that for a fact. So I had other forms I had to fill out. The doctor does not fill that shit out. I had to go down in the basement. There was some secretary down there who filled out that shit. Okay, so I said, you gotta get your doctor's consent. My doctor didn't give a fuck. My doctor's like, no, fuck this. I got patients to see. You want to do that, you go down to booking. Okay, so it's completely irrelevant, but yet it sounds good and it looks good. Oh, work requirement, it sounds so great. And yeah, I understand there's some people who probably would take advantage of it, but for the people that legitimately need it, it becomes such a fucking problem. I mean, I can't even describe the kind of problem that would cause for somebody like me, again, if I had to be on it. Now, am I the exception to the rule? I don't know, but if other people, like if somebody's like bedridden and they got rejected for SSI or SSD and they're legitimately bedridden, they'd have to go to a specialized doctor, which in my case, I know the doctor, the state doctors is Syracuse and Utica. That's over 25 miles one way. Now, if you're bedridden, you imagine traveling that far? So again, all the while you wait for 2 solid freaking years. And that's every 6 months you gotta go see the doctor. Now imagine being bedridden. You literally gotta drag your ass out there because all these people are worried about what some surfer kid's gonna do with $316 a month. He might buy pot with it. And all the while, I understand from a typical point of view, people shouldn't take advantage, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But you know what it also does? You know what that also does? Oh, we gotta have ID. We gotta keep track of what these people are doing and blah, 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 blah. All it does is set up for the fucking antichrist. All it does is set up for the New World Order. All it does is set up for a chip, the mark of the beast, where they fucking watch you. Okay. Now think about it. You want to go to vote? Well, you know what? Guess what? Now that happened to me. I'm fucking white and I've been in this country my entire life. I was born in this country. But you know what? Now, luckily for me, I get an absentee ballot sent to me. But if I didn't and I had to go to the frickin' because what happened was my card, I have like one card that has photo ID on it. And the damn thing snapped in half and I had to go redo it. I had to go get like another copy of it. And I thought, well, let me see if I can't go to the DMV because what they have, because like I don't drive because I can't physically do it because of my back and other ailments that, like I can't even turn my head. My neck is all fucked up. So like I can't see. Like some people, oh, is there somebody behind us? I don't know. I can't even turn my fucking head. So I was like, I'm not a candidate to be driving, especially when I have spasms in my leg and shit. And I don't want to be like slamming my foot into the gas and ramming into a bunch of people. I mean, shit, Trump would want to kill me. He'd want to put me to death instantly for being a fucking terrorist. So like I can't drive, but I was going to go to the DMV to see because they have non-driver licenses. And what happened when I got there is I found out that you need like 6 points. Like you need a birth certificate, you need Social Security, you need a whole slew of shit. And even if I had most of the stuff they needed, I was still like 4 points. You basically need a photo ID to get a non-driver's license photo ID. I mean, do you understand that? You need a photo ID to get a photo ID. So if you lose your photo ID, you can't get one. It's almost impossible to get one. And I'm talking from experience here. I'm talking from experience. You cannot get a photo ID if you don't have a photo ID. Because you actually need one of those. Even if I had gotten all 6 or all 5 things, I still would need a photo ID to prove that I am who I say I am. And it's that the whole point of me getting it was to get a photo ID. On the off chance that I, needed to vote or something. It's like, and like I said, I'm white and I've been here my entire life. I would have been denied if I had to go to the polling place under the Republican view. And what they want to do, because think about it, when you put the chip on your right hand or your forehead, and I do believe it's going to be an RFD chip, I do believe that. Because again, if there's an EMP field and that battery explodes, you're basically putting it. Those toxins are going to go right into your bloodstream, and you're going to wish you were dead. Now, I do think it's going to be possibly even nanobots. I've said that before. I do think nanobots might be a major factor, because the Bible does say that people are going to wish they could die, and they're not going to be able to die. Now, whatever battery they use, if it explodes and starts seeping into the skin, that could just because they're weak and they can't move and they literally can't kill themselves. They're just laying on the floor like, oh. But it's seriously, you put nanobots in there, and no matter what you do, the nanobots are basically trying to correct the problem. And the shit just keeps seeping in because they're dispersed so much that they're trying to, because that shit, dude, if that shit gets into you're talking possible kidney failure, liver failure, you're talking almost all the organs are going to start to shut down. So if you had nanobots, they would basically be trying to repair everything. They'd be cut so thin that they wouldn't even be able to have time to fix the main problem. Because assuming that they were mildly intelligent, they would have to go to what's most important. Your heart starts fucking up, they got to go to your heart first. Your liver, kidneys, that stuff comes first. So whatever the actual problem, they're not going to fix that until later. But the problem is that shit's just going to keep seeping into your fucking bloodstream. So I mean, that would be kind of an interesting little take on it, because one of the reasons I think it's interesting is because I've said this before. If you read any of these end times prophecy books from the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, so on and so forth, they're all nothing more than a snapshot of the moment. They're a snapshot, like, again, there was entire books about Hittite Rabin assassination was going to cause it, the Gulf War was going to cause it, blah, blah, even 9/11. Although I think 9/11 did help set up the shit. I think it was a bigger picture. Arab Spring, I went into all that before, just to set up this puppet government. I mean, we are on the apex of a new world order. You do realize that. We are on the apex of one world currency. And one world religion is not that far off. You do what you do and I'll do what I do, and we just come together and be nice. That kind of shit. And I don't know. Because again, the sad part about all of this shit is that it's the next logical step. It is what the New World Order is great. It's wonderful. It's the greatest thing ever. It really is. The mark of the beast, having all your identification right there. It's great. But seriously, who do you think is going to be the ones who get it first? It's going to be the people on, the safety nets. Who's going to be the first one? Because they want to track what you're doing with that money. Because, Republicans, for example, seriously, the Republicans are going to usher in big government to track what people are doing with that money. They are. In fact, And this is kind of scary. Donald Trump has actually decreed and made the fucking executive order. I can't remember what it was called, but he's instructed whoever's in charge to basically do away with Social Security numbers and set up a biomechanical, bioengineered something that essentially goes on the person. It intermingles with their skin. It intermingles with their... He has actually stated that. He's actually set that shit up. Or he's... And, oh, dude... The fucking UN, by 2030, which is what? 12 years? They want everyone chipped. They want everything chipped, and you add the 5G into this, dude. I'm telling you right now, the shit's happening, and who's ushering it in? The Republicans, the people who have been preaching against this stuff. They're ushering it in. Now it's funny. They want small government, unless it's to keep them safe. Then we need to chip everybody, except for unless it's guns. No, In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if they somehow twisted that around, like all these shootings and shit, these mass shootings, like, oh, we'll chip everybody, because it isn't the gun's fault, it's the person's fault, so let's chip the person. And I don't know. It's scary, man. I mean, it really is. This isn't, and I'll be honest, this isn't tinfoil hat type stuff. This really is. I mean, unless you're talking, you don't believe in the Bible kind of a deal, if somebody's talking like that. But even if you don't believe in the Bible, we are headed toward a one world government, a one world currency, and yes, even a one world religion. We are headed there. That is what we're doing. There are people who are atheists, George Soros, for example, who wants a new world order. He does. The Bushes want new world order. Old man Bush talked about that shit back in the 90s. Wants a new world order. And what's sad is the new world order is not necessarily a bad thing per se. For what we want to do, it's actually the next logical step, and it's actually a great thing. But it's going to be used in a wrong fuck way. Now, if you believe in the Bible, that's called your end of days. When you see that shit happening, when they can track you wherever the fuck you go, they can track us right now. That's the thing. It's just, it's not a consistent track. You put in the 5G, I wouldn't be surprised they couldn't track just anybody just in real time. Like, if that really does create a blanket, a net, if you will, because it's concentrated. Now, I don't know to what extent. Like, I don't know if it could, like, dictate landmarks and dictate, like, oh, he's sitting on that bench, or he's sitting over here. Now, granted, we have satellites that can see postage stamps on the street, but that's different because you have to put that in a spot to see it. Now, we've got this net, this internet net, if you will, then now again, I don't know how concentrated this 5G is going to be. I don't know how what I mean by that is, let's say it went into effect, could it actually determine mass, like physical, almost like a sonar, radar kind of a thing, where it's like it sends back the signal, like, oh, this person's walking through his kitchen, and could it map out the actual interior of a house? I mean, they can do that right now, but I don't know if this 5G does that. I don't know that as a fact, but if it did, holy shit. I mean, think about that. That means even if you don't have the chip, they can still track you. They can still track movement. With the satellites, they can definitely track heat signatures. So, you accompany those two things. I mean, we're talking complete blanket over the world. A literal blanket. Or at least here in the United States. And like I said, Trump wants to be first. He even said, this is something we want to do. We're going to basically cut all the red tape, and then when we do the infrastructure jobs, and you know damn well he's going to do that. They've already given him $1 trillion to do infrastructure. He's going to start setting up these fucking this 5G network. Which again, I love the idea because the amount of speed, like internet speed, is insane. I love it. But if they're going to connect everything to it, again, this is exactly what Xbox was trying to do. In the Xbox One reveal that everybody hated, that the Xbox always has to be on, has to check in, all that stuff, and people like, that's too Big Brother, that's too government oriented, and who the fuck knows what they're doing with the information. They even admitted they were going to sell it to, you know, bidders, you know, high bidders, whoever wanted it. They were going to sell the shit. So every time, I mean, seriously, every time you sit there with the Kinect and you're like, oh, Xbox on, you know, well, I shouldn't say that, it probably does turn on, although I don't have a Kinect, but whatever. Like, you say that shit and all of a sudden it listens for you. It's constantly listening. Like, I mean, not like this tablet's not constantly listening, so on and so forth, but I don't know. I mean, it really is a scary fucking proposition, I tell you. And guess. Take one wild guess. Who ushered that shit in? Who is ushering that in? Is it the liberals? No. It's your Christian conservatives. Because again, what are you conserving? You're conserving worldly goods. You're conserving worldly possessions, worldly money. For what? You die, you can't take it with you. It's going to burn in hell, literally. You and your money are going to burn in hell, literally. I mean, think about it. Where does that leave us? I keep yawning. Anyway, I gotta end this clip because I'm tired. But anyway, like I said, where does that leave us? Where exactly would that leave us? Right in the palm of bullshit is where it leaves us. Literally the lap of luxury. I mean, all you need is Ralph Garman and what is going on? That's all you need. That's all you need. And we're fucked. We're literally fucked. What is going on? It's not a bad impression, I admit. I want to watch. We gotta watch those again, damn it. Joe Schmo, we gotta watch that shit again. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this one up. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It irritates me. Stupid people. It's just, again, 40 plus years these people preach from the pulpit, and the minute it's on their back door, they don't even see it. Jim Baker, Pat Robertson, you name the freaking TV preacher, and they don't even see it. Because I'm telling you right now, Christians are going to pray for the Antichrist on their knees that he comes and saves them. I guarantee it. That is the great delusion. That is what it is. Now think about it. The great delusion is many will fall away from the faith. The fact is, what if they already did fall away from the faith? What if your average Christian, your average evangelical is so far fallen from the faith that they're propagating lies and bullshit? All these people say, oh, you go against Trump, it's, you know, blah, blah, blah. What if he really is of the spirit of Antichrist, and you're promoting it and praying for it on your knees for all this bullshit, and you're the one that's doing it? You're the one that's causing the problem as a Christian. What if that is the case? I mean, I don't know. I take that shit serious. I take that shit beyond serious. Like, I don't want to make these clips if I'm completely wrong. You know, I'm certainly not doing it for the view. I mean, 50 views? Seriously? I should be getting like 2 million views. Okay. I'm getting lucky. I'm lucky if I get 25 over a topic like this. So, I ain't doing it for the views, believe me. Although, I mean, it's, you know, seriously, 25 to 30 views, that's pretty big for me, but that's not what it's about, you know? Anyways, it's depressing. I mean, the whole process is depressing, because these are people that we were supposed to look up to. These were people who were supposed to be spiritual leaders. These were spiritual fathers in many cases, and people who are supposed to know it and supposed to discern it, and they just sit there and they look at it and they accept it for what it is, or what they think it is, and it's not what they think it is. And it's just, I don't know. Anyway, you know what? I'm done. Fuck you.